This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Your home for all things Manchester High School football. With head coach Evan Huckstetler and your host, J.J. Hush.
Hello and welcome to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, J.J. Hush, with the coach of the Manchester Blue Devils, Coach Evan Huckstetler. Coach, thank you again as your time as always.
Thank you.
So you guys come out with another W this weekend over the Bowdon Red Devils. You guys moved to 4-2 overall, and that important 1-0 in the region. It's got to be an exciting time for this weekend.
Yes, anytime that you're still undefeated in region is a good thing. It's good to start out on the right note going into the region, especially against the defending region champions, Bowdon. But the kids play outstanding. We're getting better and better each week. We're getting a little bit more healthier as the season goes along. So hopefully we can continue that.
Yeah. And starting off on the right foot, especially with the tough schedule coming up with Heard County in a couple weeks and just getting into that region play, it's nice to see that you already got a win in that to set you up on the right foot.
Yes. We felt like we started out region play against the best three teams in the region. We played Bowdon. We're going to play Heard County 2 Fridays from now. Then we play Bremen after that, and all three teams are very good. They're very well coached, so it's definitely a challenge.
Over the weekend, you guys on the injuries, you guys pretty good as far as the team for the injury standpoint?
Yes. We're really good in that aspect. As a matter of fact, we may be getting a kid back this coming week that's been out 4 or 5 weeks. So from the injury point of view, we're doing okay.
Let's talk a little bit about the game. We'll start on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, Bowdon is always pretty good the way they scheme it and playing against you guys. But you guys look like y'all had success in the run game Friday night.
Yes, Bowdon, I tell you what, their front seven on defense is one of the best in the region, if not the best. Heard County's really good, but Bowdon's up there with them. They have a middle linebacker that's committed to play at Division I school. So we went into the game knowing that we had to be patient. I think we only had 3 or 4 runs that were 10 yards or more. So I thought our line of scrimmage, our running backs did a good job of being patient with 3 or 4 yards a pop, and it eventually paid off late in the game. I felt that we wore them down a little bit in the fourth quarter. I know we had a good job in the fourth quarter where we did not throw a pass. We ran the whole time and scored. But I thought we were very patient. I thought the run game was there.
And that's a credit to the guys because, you know, these offenses that you run the ball and you want to pound it down their throat. Mm-hmm. Those 3-4 yards doesn't seem like it's paying dividends, but late in the ball game, like you said, it does wear defenses down. It does be productive there at the end.
It does. I think our coaching staff mentality in that aspect is starting to wear off from the players' mentality, and it's paying off on Friday nights.
And one of those guys is Anthony Bell. Now, before we get to any of his specific touchdown runs or highlights in that game, just talk about his mentality of running the football. It seems like when we were watching film, he's actually making a lot better cuts, running to the open places, and making good productive runs for you guys.
Well, first of all, he's getting more comfortable in the offense. I wish I had him in my system for 3 or 4 years. He'd be one heck of a fullback, but he's getting better and better as the weeks goes by, and it's because he's having the same reps in practice. If we don't change anything, what he was doing the first week of summer, he's still doing the same thing in practice. So obviously his steps are better. He's more explosive because he knows what he's doing. He was the workhorse this past Friday. I'm a firm believer that the fullback needs to be the cowbell, and obviously the halfbacks, they get their carries too, but we like to pound the ball, and that's the fullback. And Anthony definitely rang his bell Friday night, and he answered the call.
He definitely did, and he actually got a score early in the ball game that put you guys up in that football game. Talk a little about that first quarter run and how it separated you guys.
Well, I felt going into the week we needed to balance up Bowdon's defense. They're a 3-4 team, but they can give you fits if you don't balance them up, and so we balance them up. We ran at the defenders that weren't quite as good as the other ones. I'm not going to say they're weak defenders, but they play quite well. But we just ran the down track, and he hit the hole, and he made one defender miss, ran by the safety, and he was out the gate.
And then later on in that ball game, he had another touchdown late to kind of close that ball game out in the fourth quarter, pounding down near the goal line.
Yes, we got in our set that we called Red Away. The Bowdon kids know that set very well. I think we get in at Bowdon, we got in about 7-10 times a game and just ran ISO. But we got in it. They were thinking ISO to the quick side. We ran down the same player that we scored on earlier, gets ran down to the strong side, and he made one guy miss again. It's a cornerback, and he scored.
As a lot of this offense with this blocking scheme, it really does sometimes come down to one-on-one. Can you beat your man in open space?
Yes. We try. That's what we tell our running backs, to hit their tracks and try to score. I mean, if they hit their tracks, the offensive line to us is responsible for the first 4 yards, and after that it's whatever God's given talent that you have, and you make a guy miss, you run past a guy, run over a guy, whichever is your talent. But the offensive line, we're responsible for the first 4 yards. After that, it's up to the running back.
Speaking of God-given talent, Anthony Bell, he's that guy that pounds it for you guys. But you guys did something with him that we haven't seen a lot, and that's y'all split him out wide, and y'all threw him the ball, and he caught a touchdown pass for you guys this week.
He caught 2 passes. The first pass he caught was a post pass early in the game to kind of flip the field position. If we would have got it to him a little bit sooner, he might have scored on that. The pressure was in Garrett's face, so he threw it a little bit late. He caught that pass in the big 4th down play in the 3rd quarter that we threw it to him. And he made 2 good catches. It was 2 good throws. Blocking was good. But, again, that's a testimony to Preacher, man, because Bowdon put their best defenders on Preacher's side of the field, and they left their weaker defenders on the other side. So, again, I put one of my better athletes in Bell, split them out wide. You have Preacher on the other side, and it balances the defense out pretty well.
And it's definitely something that you don't see on film a lot when you see a guy that you put at fullback. To split him out like that. A lot of corners and stuff, you look at it and say, all right, I don't know how to handle this situation.
Yeah, it's something I have not shown that formation before. Again, I like my fullbacks to be fast and physical, and I like them to be athletes. So you put them out there. Anthony was comfortable in that role.
And he did a great job, as we talked about earlier, to close out ball games and stuff like that. The 4th and 5 on that final drive that ended up you guys scoring, he did a great job of converting on that play, and just great athleticism.
Yes, again, we got the defense focused on one side of the field. We had a tight end that split in over, and the defense was really focused over there. They left 2 of their weaker defenders on the other side, and we tossed Anthony the ball. It was good blocking. Gamble did a good job blocking on the outside linebacker, and Anthony he only had to make one guy miss, and that was the corner coming in, and he made him miss, and he almost scored on the play.
That was a great job. And, when you have a guy like that, it does open it up for the rest of the offense. Not a lot of huge runs, but some good, important runs in that ball game by the other guys on the team.
Yes, Gamble had a couple of crucial runs. Like I said earlier, I think we only had 4 runs that were 10 yards or more, and Gamble had 2 of them. And he did a good job running. He did a pretty good job blocking. He's getting better each week, but he's a guy that I love to coach, and I'm glad that I'm going to have him another year. He's getting better and better each week.
And those running backs, a lot of the glory comes for them when they're actually blocking for other backs and stuff like that. But
yes.
It's nice to see them come out when they do get their opportunity. They take full advantage of it.
They do. They have to. I think offensively, we're blessed if we have 55 snaps a game. And obviously, you're not going to have a guy that has 30 carries like you see sometimes when you watch Georgia play or somebody like that. But if they're getting 10 carries a game, that's really a lot. But we try to spread it out equally, not that we're saying he needs amount of carries versus this or this, but we just give what the defense allows us to give.
It seems like the guys are getting it as far as that system because, like, for example, Little Bell did not have a great game rushing the ball, but he looked like he blocked pretty well this weekend. And next week he might have a breakout game in Gamble.
Yeah, and that's the way it is in Wing T. We have preached that. I have heard it preached from my offensive coordinator when I was playing quarterback in high school. The guy after him, then I was preaching it right. It's the same song on repeat. We have to remind these young teenagers that not every game that you're going to get 15, 20 carries. Some games you're going to have to block a little bit more, but they're buying in. They're doing an outstanding job.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware is your fall headquarters. Carhartt Clothing, the right gear for any job in comfort. Available for men, women, and children. Fall flowers and cool weather vegetables, along with an array of home decor for fall and the upcoming holiday season. Fall also means hunting season, rifles, handguns, and more to make sure you're ready to bring down the big one. Don't forget the great selection of Georgia boots. It's all at Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. So, Coach, the run game obviously was the big thing of the night, but it seemed like you guys always have a niche, for lack of a better word, to throw the football down the field and stretch these guys. And, of course, with a guy like Addy, that's a normal thing. But it seemed like that you guys spread it out a little bit more, especially with Bell.
Yes, and it's a testimony to our offensive line blocker. And we got a quarterback. He's a tall guy. He's smart. He has a very good arm. So we're able to do that and stretch the field vertically just because of the talent we have. And anytime you have a receiver like Preacher, if you do not try to stretch at least 1 or 2 times a game with him, you're not doing your football team justice. But early in the game, I think it's the second touchdown we had. We ran jet motion to the wide side to the quick side, and we just call it a slant go, and Preacher ran a good slant route, and the corner bit on him. You can't see it on film, but I was watching live, and Preacher really almost broke his ankle. It was that good a move, and the corner came down, and Preacher went right behind him, and Garrett threw him a good ball. He caught the ball, and we're blessed on that play.
Like you said earlier, when you have a guy like him, those defenses have got to honor him. So it opens up situations like Bell on the other side that they have never seen before.
Yes.
Well, Garrett Brown, talk a little bit more about his play because, of course, the running backs are the stars of the offense. But like you said, when you have a guy that has an arm like his, of course, you said he's a baseball player and he's a very good one. But when he comes on the football field, he brings it every week, and he seems like he's finally getting comfortable in this offense.
He does a good job. He's a level-head QB, and I say that, and that's a good term for me because he manages the game very well. He's not going to put his teammates in a bad spot. He makes good decisions with his throws. He allows his receivers to make a play on the ball, and when we have the running game, he does his job. He gets the ball to the running back. Sometimes in pressure situations, that can be a little bit more difficult than it looks, just looking at it on film or looking at it from the stands, because our offense is complex. He's responsible for getting the play to the other 10 guys in the huddle, but he's also responsible for the cadence. He's responsible for the play itself, and if we have some type of motion, he's responsible for letting them know that. We have 3 different type of motion that we can show on any type of play we run, but he does a good job. He's smart. He's throwing the ball. He did a good job this past weekend with the option game. I think we ran the option 4 times, one for a 2-point conversion that he converted the conversion, and he did one time on a 3rd and short, close to the goal line. He didn't pitch it, but he got the ball past the first down marker. And early in the game, we ran option twice, and one time he pitched it for a good gain, and the other time he ran it for about 8 or 9 yards. But he's a blessing to have.
So you guys on the offensive side, to sum it up, you guys did put the ball on the ground, it seemed like a couple of times, but Is that the only negatives that you saw over the weekend for the offense? Or, of course, there's always times to get better, but what was the things you saw that you could work on?
We got to get a little bit more physical and be able to run ISO a little bit more. We're getting better as offensive line. We're only going to improve. They had a real difficult week as far as the mental aspect. We put a lot of new plays in as far as the option, and we did some counter pitches and stuff. So they had a lot on their play mentally and physically, but I thought they responded very well. We're going to get better each week of offensive line. We don't expect them to be the best they can this week, but next week you get a little bit better and a little bit better. Maybe by the time, if we're lucky enough to be in the playoffs, maybe by that time we're rolling pretty good for offensive line. We did have another drop snap from under the center that Friday night when we did that during the game. This is the first time it happened during the that whole week. So that's getting better. It's not quite 100%, but it's getting a lot better. We did have a high snap on a shotgun snap. But other than that, I thought our offense as a unit played fairly well.
So moving to the defensive side of the ball, you guys coming in, we talked about how Bowdon, they just have athletes everywhere, and it seems like it doesn't matter what formation they're in, they're going to make plays because these guys did it. And your defense did a pretty good job of holding them in check.
Yes, our defense did an outstanding job. The first drive, Bowdon was moving it pretty good, and they had a high snap as well. I thought after that drive, our defense really responded. I'm not sure if they were awake during that drive. Sometimes it takes teams a couple of minutes to get in the flow of the game. But after that first drive Bowdon had, I thought we did an outstanding job. Unfortunately, we gave our defense some trouble with a short field. Bowdon had a short field a couple of times. But overall, our defense is getting better each week.
And Bowdon was really committed to running the ball out of the option read, really trying to sell the running back coming across, and then the quarterback coming up the middle. That front seven has got to be so disciplined against that offense.
Yes, especially Bowdon. I was telling the coaches before the game Friday, Bowdon, to me, they had the three fastest kid on the field Friday night. If you put the guys on the track and let them run at 100, I think Bowdon has the three fastest kids that night. But overall, I think our team speed and discipline is getting better. Our pursuit to the ball, there's a few miscues that I would like to have back, but overall, we did a really good job.
And one of the leaders in that front seven, it seems like every week we bring him up, but he's making big plays in the backfield, and that's Brown. I mean, he's made some good plays in the backfield, and you said he is having trouble in the tight areas making plays, but he's making good plays in the open field.
Yes. When teams spread us out and he moves to the outside, he's doing a good job. He's getting better and better as being an open field tackler. He's pursuing to the ball. He's one of those that the first couple of minutes it looked like he was asleep a little bit inside, but after that he woke up and he had an outstanding football game. Not only in tackles, but there were several times that he put pressure on the QB to make the quarterback make a decision to either throw it or run it, and he put the pressure on the quarterback a little bit quicker than they would like to have.
And this offense is key on not only being disciplined, but when they do make the decision, whether it's the quarterback to keep it or to give it, you have to swarm to it and get to them quick, because these are some athletes that if they get it, make one man miss, they could take it to the house.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, they had Tay Shepard and C.J. Bennett and the QB, Casey Palmer. They're very good football players.
So talk a little bit about the defense as a whole. Ferguson looked like he played a pretty good ball game, but that defensive line seemed like they showed up and played very well on that front.
Yes, the defensive line is actually getting better and better. I'm not sure people realize what type of offensive line they went up against last week at Bowdon. It gets to emphasize that a little bit more. Like I said, last year we have 4 games in a row that calling plays for Bowdon that we had over 450 yards rushing, and we didn't throw a single pass. And that's a testimony to those kids at Bowdon. They were big and physical, and out of the offensive line that came back and played for them this year, 4 out of the 5 starters on the offensive line came back. And so they had a lot of experience. They had size, they had speed, and they had discipline on the offensive line. And our defensive line went up against them, and they accepted the challenge, and they did an outstanding job. I thought Jackson played one of his better games, and J.T. Waller, most of the night he was lined up in front of a D1 committed football player, and J.T. did an outstanding job. Dixon played one of his better football games, and Mahomes came up with a couple big plays as well.
Yeah, and Mahomes actually had a sack in that ball game, which I think was the only sack of the night. But
Yes.
it turns out when you have those plays, it's such a momentum shifter for your defense.
Yes. Mahomes got to the QB. He slipped inside. They were trying to step and cut, but Mahomes, he's a big kid, but he's also a fast kid. He plays basketball, and if you watch Manchester play basketball, they run the court all game long. So Mahomes used to having a little bit of speed. He used it on that play.
And with these offenses, the secondary is so important in the run game as well. They can kind of get lulled to sleep sometimes because you think, man, they're not throwing it my way or anything like that. I feel like I'm not involved. But it's so crucial for them to stay at home and to make those plays and force to cut the edge.
Yes, our secondary is doing an outstanding job. Little Bell had one of his better games, and not because he made a lot of tackles or broke up some passes, but Bowdon gave 52 different formations during the first 4 games, and bless his heart, all week long he had every day it was a different formation, different formation, and a lot of it is dummy trips or dummy twins, and just stuff that it's difficult to pick up on as a high school kid, because you got school all day, then you got homework and football practice, and it's very little time to study film like they do in college or NFL. But he did a good job of lining his unit up, and I don't think the secondary might have been misaligned maybe twice all night long, and at one time it hurt us for about 15 yards, and the other time fortunately they didn't see it. But Little Bell did an outstanding job, and Magruder, even though he didn't have a pick, he continues to make plays. He broke up a pass, and we're starting to realize, for the most part, teams do not throw it to Preacher Man's way. So he's becoming a little bit more of a lockdown corner, and that benefits the rest of the secondary.
And you guys have had a good share of interceptions so far this year, so the pass defense has been there. It's just, can you stop the run? And you guys actually answered the bell this weekend and look like y'all played a very good ball game.
Yes, I think Bowdon had 137 yards rushing. I have to go back and look, but that's pretty good.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware is your fall headquarters. Carhartt Clothing, the right gear for any job in comfort. Available for men, women, and children. Fall flowers and cool weather vegetables, along with an array of home decor for fall and the upcoming holiday season. Fall also means hunting season, rifles, handguns, and more to make sure you're ready to bring down the big one. Don't forget the great selection of Georgia boots. It's all at Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show with Coach Evan Hochstetler. So, Coach, the offense and defense did their job, but it seemed like every week the special teams can change the momentum of a ball game or put you in good field position or puts them back in field position. You guys did that this weekend.
Yes, I was a little worried going into the Bowdon game with in regards to special teams. I knew that we could play with them in that aspect, but Bowdon on film and what they show Friday night is a pretty good special team. I honestly thought we won the special teams battle. I know we missed a couple of PATs that I would like to have back, but we'll continue to work on that during the week. Heinz Barnes did an outstanding job punting the ball. We punted the ball 3 times. The first time, probably our only mistake special team wise, Big Bell snapped it over Hines' head and gave them short field to score. But other than that, the last 2 times had a good snap. And Barnes has really been working on this. He needs to catch the ball, kick. So early in the year, he's catching the ball, looking at see who's coming to him, and that's not his responsibility. The only thing he has to do is catch the ball and kick it. So he did a good job. He had a big punt in the 4th quarter that turned the field, and we're grateful for that. And Little Gamble, I know he had a kickoff return for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Northeast Macon. This past Friday, he almost took one to the house again. He was probably 2 inches away from taking it all the way. He got tripped up, and they were able to catch him after he was tripped up. But Little Gamble continues to shine on special teams. That's a big force.
When you got guys that make plays on special teams, there's just so much more for a team to prepare for coming into the week. So, hey, guys, we got to put some emphasis on the special teams, or we're going to allow 7 points.
Yes, and I agree 100%. We did the same thing preparing for Bowdon. Usually we don't work on special teams, but maybe twice a week. We do a lot on Thursday, but every day this past week we did some form of special teams, and it's helping us in return. And also, when, like you said, when teams see that we're doing well in special teams, it may take a little bit time away from their offense and defense during the week, and they have to work on special teams, especially at the small ball level, because a lot of our guys that play offense and defense, they turn right around and do special teams.
So you guys are 4-2. You head into the week and do another bye week, which has got to be good for you guys. I know you don't have a lot of injuries, but it's always good to get that rest from a standpoint and get that extra week of preparation.
Yes, the kids, we actually gave them Monday off, and we're going to give them Friday off. That's the normal that I have been involved in with my father at Bowdon, and just talking to other coaches around the state. A lot of times during the bye week, you give them Friday, you give them Monday off. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to work on Manchester football. We're going to get a little bit more physical, work on some of the smaller foundation things that we were not able to work on last week, just because Bowdon gave us so much to prepare for. So we don't want to give them too much where they forget, but we're going to work on ourselves. We're going to work a little bit on Heard County and have a long weekend and come back to work next Monday.
And Heard County, they also have a bye week for you guys, so it's not like one of those things where a team plays with a week and they feel like they got gypped, so to speak. They have a week behind
Yes.
you guys, but they have the same amount of time to get ready for you.
Yeah, I think when they did the region schedule, it worked out for most of the teams to have a bye this week. I know Bowdon and Chaco, the only 2 teams are playing out. Heard County's off. We're off. Bremen and Temple all have byes.
And as the way the region is shaping out right now, it looks like that all these teams have played pretty tough schedules, and their record may not show overall, but the region is definitely going to be a tough one for you.
The region's a big, it's a tough region. Heard County, are they 3-3?
They're 3-3 on the year.
3-3, but their 3 losses came to Fitzgerald, Callaway, and Macon County. If you know anything about Georgia high school football, you know that those 3 teams I just named are very good football teams, very athletic. Fitzgerald's probably one of the top 2 or 3 football teams in Class AA. Macon County, the last couple of years, they have brought back their tradition they had in the 90s. They're very big, fast, and athletic, and they're better coached than they were maybe 5-10 years ago. And Callaway, a lot of people in Meriwether County know about the tradition that Callaway has, but Heard County, they're in all those games. Heard County is one of the better coached teams in the region, if not the state of Georgia. They do everything the right way. Coach Barron and all his coaching staff, they're class act guys, and they do a very good job with their program.
Coach, thank you again for your time this week.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in each week for the lowdown on all the Blue Devil football news.
Thank you for watching the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Brought to you by Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware and JT Signs. Join Coach Huck Stetler and your host, JJ Hush, next week as they continue to review and preview all the Blue Devils football games right here on Mountain Vision. This is Mountain Vision.